What's going on, YouTube? OCD for EDC here, and what I got for your face balls today, we're going to be talking TwoSuns. A lot of TwoSuns. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make this, since everybody seems to love top 10 lists, I'm going to call this the top 10 best TwoSun knives. And I've got a few honorable mentions to start out with. A couple older, well, actually, a couple older designs and one brand new design. But let's just get right into them. So right off the bat here, one of the best all-time TwoSun knives is this one right here. This is the TwoSun TS89. This is a phenomenal knife all the way around. This is a Wong design. You can see this one here is in D2. Titanium frame lock, and you have this bone inlay. You can get this in several different variants. They have it with black bone inlay and S90V blade steel. Action on this knife is perfect. It's perfect in every single way. The knife is amazing, and it's a great pocket knife that you can pick up. And all of these, for those that don't know, TwoSun, this is the best value in the knife game, hands down. Like, there's nothing that even competes for the materials that you're getting, the construction quality. Nothing else even comes close. So without question, every single one of the knives that I'm about to show you, when it comes to value, they're off the charts. There's not another brand that I'm aware of anyway that even remotely comes close to the kind of value you get from TwoSun. So TwoSun TS89, that's our first honorable mention. Like I said, multiple different variants. You can pick this model up right here, this particular model, for, I don't know, 50 or 60 bucks, something like that with D2. Like I said, you can get it with the black bone and S90V, and you're looking at just over $100. Yeah, just an amazing knife all the way around. And all of these, let me look. Yeah, all of these are riding on ceramic bearings. The build quality, if you want to see any of the knives disassembled, go and check out my reviews on them. I disassemble them in all the reviews, so you can see the actual construction quality. It's second to none. They do phenomenal work. All right. With all that being said, next one up, this is another Wong design. This is the TwoSun TS162, and I have modified this one. It does, originally, the blade kind of has a bulbous back, we'll call it. I changed the blade shape to make it look a little more aggressive, but this knife is perfect in hand. Build quality, again, is excellent. You got carbon fiber, titanium frame lock, or bolster lock if you want to call it that. This one's in 12C27. They also make it in M390 and 14C28N. You can Spidey flick it. You can do all the things. It's a gorgeous knife. TwoSun TS162, amazing knife. Our third honorable mention is a brand new design that just came out. This one right here is the Jelly Jerry design. Oh, I got some stuff on the blade. I've been using it. Jelly Jerry design. This is the TwoSun TS227. And this one is in 14C28N. It is a liner lock. It's perfect. It's micarta. It's got a buoy blade. It's awesome. And even though it has this kind of compound grind deal going on, the secondary bevel is consistent all the way across. So this is really just there for looks. It does thin the tip out quite a bit. The blade doesn't have a lot of distal taper to it. So just right there at the end, they got a little more aggressive. And it gives it kind of a cool look. You know, you can definitely see it. It catches the light, and that's pretty neat. It's a nice little touch on, you know, an amazingly cheap knife. You got a deep carry fold over clip. The only thing that I don't mind it, but I wish, you know, any other color. The OD green G10 backspacer, I think, is just kind of strange. I get that they were going for like earth tones on this, but you guys will see some mod work on this real soon. But this is the stock form right here, and you can pick this knife up for $40. Actually, I think you can actually get it for a little less than that, you know. But yeah, 35 to 40 bucks. You can buy this knife right here, and it is beautiful. Action is perfect. It's a great knife. TS227. All right. Now, this top 10 list is in no particular order. We're just going to run through them, and these are my favorite TwoSun knives. First up, we have, just because it's closest to my hand, a pair of knives. This is the high-end version. This is the budget version. This is the TwoSun TS127, and these are Wong design. This one here is in S90V, and you've got carbon fiber bolsters with orange G10 titanium milled clip. This has titanium liners with a hardened insert, ceramic bearings, ceramic detent. It has a detent ramp. Action is perfect. It's just a great knife. And this is the budget version. This is G10 with black G10 bolsters. This one is in 14C28N. The fold over deep carry pocket clip, which works perfectly. And it's also riding on ceramic bearings, ceramic detent ball, but stainless steel liners. This is like a $45 knife. This is like a $130 knife. And the design is wonderful. They're awesome. And yeah, one of my all-time favorites, without a doubt. So, the TwoSun TS127. All right, next up, a design from Mr. Mazwan Mokhtar. This is the TwoSun TS196. Sabretooth is what this is called. This one is in M390. Titanium frame lock flipper. It's also, you can kind of sort of front flip it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it on camera. If you can catch it just right, yeah, you can front flip it, but it's primarily a flipper, and the flipper tab does not stick up a ton past the scale. So it's got this, cut out area. It's a beautiful knife. It's gorgeous, super thin behind the edge, and it's a great kind of mid-size, just to give you an idea here, size difference with the 127. We'll line the pivots up. You can see the 196 is quite a bit smaller of a knife. So I do have a little tape measure here. 3¼ inch blade on the 196 Sabretooth, but it's a gorgeous knife, premium materials, beautiful design, begging for some anno work, which it'll get here soon, but yeah, awesome knife, 196 Sabretooth. Next up, the TwoSun TS129. This is a front flipper with this keyhole, so you can open this several different ways. You can Spidey flick it. It's a titanium frame lock with a carbon fiber show side. This is one of the original ones, so it's in 14C28N. When you could buy this knife, you could pick this up for like $69 with the gorgeous carbon fiber. It is contoured. It's beautiful. It's an amazing knife all the way around. Now, the version that you can buy today is this same frame, same carbon fiber with M390 blade, and it sells for, I think, around $130, maybe $120, something like that. But you can find them. They're pretty readily available. This is the TwoSun TS129. Awesome knife. All right, next up, another budget model. This is the TwoSun TS165. This one they happen to call the oval, and it just is the mill pattern that's on this layered G10. Originally, this was white and black. I dyed it red to make it red and black. It's a gorgeous knife. It's perfect in every single way. The action on it is perfect. It's just an amazing knife. In my opinion, TwoSun does the best budget knives on the planet. This knife's like $40, and you're getting ceramic bearings, ceramic detent, 14C28N, which is substantially better than most everybody else's D2 that they offer on knives in this category. So, up against Civivi, up against CJRB, up against all the other, kind of budget flipper brands that are out there right now, this thing just destroys them. I mean, it just kicks, they're not even close. Fit and finish, quality, pocket clip is fantastic. Just everything about this knife, and it's a $40 knife. So you just cannot go wrong with this thing. Behind the edge, it's super thin, it's well ground. This is another Wong design. And there's several like in this category. You know, these are like the same price. And so really it just comes down to which one do you like the look of better, you know, and that sort of a thing. But all of the G10 stainless steel linered TwoSuns, they're in that $40 price range with 14C28N. They're excellent. Okay, 165 oval. And they do offer this in multiple different variants, different milling patterns that make the handle look a little bit different. But their G10 models are fantastic. All right, next up, we have the TwoSun TS186 Kingfisher. And this one is a front flipper. It's a great front flipper. The geometry on it is wonderful, so it flips beautifully. Along with the 129, it also has really great front flipper geometry. If any of you guys have ever had a front flipper that didn't work very well, there's certainly a lot of those out there. These two are not. The 129 and the 186 Kingfisher, these two are great. This is another Mazwan Mokhtar design. You can Spidey flick it. Again, this one is in 14C because this was one of the original. They do offer this now in M390. It has a beautifully crowned spine, which is just awesome. Perfectly centered. Build quality is just fantastic. All of these knives have detent ramps. They're so smooth. This one even has an internal relief cut on the lock bar, which you very rarely see. Shred carbon fiber, titanium frame lock. It's just look at it. This is a gorgeous knife, a gorgeous design. It's just fantastic, and you just can't beat it for the price. You can pick this up for the version in M390. I'm wanting to say they're 130, 140 bucks, something like that. And then, you know, of course, they're selling all the time on eBay, so you might luck out and get a better deal there. All right, next up, I've got a few Mazwan designs here. This is the TwoSun TS139 Barracuda. This one happens to be in shred carbon fiber. They also offered this in standard weave carbon fiber. But this is just a phenomenal knife. It's another front flipper. It does have this thumb disc, and you can open it with the thumb disc. It does work, but that's not my preferred way. The front flipper works so good, and the thumb disc is beautiful. Makes just a wonderful little place to put your thumb, and it's super comfortable. This one here is in S90V, and just look at it. I mean, yeah, the grip on it is just a really neutral grip. This is going to work for just about anyone. The beautiful Wharncliffe blade on this thing, it's just an absolutely beautiful knife. I recently gave one of these away that I'd done some anno work on. If you guys see that in my 2K giveaway video, you can check it out. I had another one that the other one had the weave carbon fiber, I guess, but it was still S90V, and I did the bronze anno, and the bronze and carbon fiber just look fantastic together. So awesome knife. The thumb disc is also titanium because I anodized it as well. You do also have this lanyard hole in the back, but it almost looks like an integral. It's not, but you can see the seam there. So you got this full back spacer, again, internal lock bar relief cut, and you know, this little jimping down here, you can see it lines up perfectly with the blade. I mean, just all these small little details, the build quality it's just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. Again, on the spine, the jimping lines up from the handle to the blade. It's excellent. And yeah, 139 Barracuda, awesome knife. Okay, next up, this is the TwoSun TS191. I don't remember if there's a name for this one. It's the 191. Again, S90V, titanium frame lock. This one has just standard weave carbon fiber inlay. The pocket clip on this thing is wonderful. This one has an external relief cut, but that's really about the only thing I can knock it on. Otherwise, this knife is just, man, is it good. It's so thin, and just look at the blade centering is just perfect, and look at how there's just no space. You know, in a lot of knives, there's a gap between the blade and the scales. This knife is so well put together, and it just feels so good in hand. This little thumb ramp, the jimping, all the edges on all the TwoSuns are really, really well chamfered, so there's no hot spots or edges, you know, uncomfortable points on any of these knives. And the action is just what you would expect. You got this beautiful swedge on the top, this beautiful upswept trailing point blade, which is just, man, does it look good. And this one is also S90V, if I didn't already say that. Of course, all these tie frame locks have got hardened steel inserts, ceramic detent balls, and then also they have detent ramps. Man, just beautiful. And you can buy this thing, again, you know, 130 bucks, under $150 for this knife. And you're not touching a titanium frame lock with carbon fiber inserts and S90V from any other maker for that kind of money. So, okay, next up, my boy Sean Hassan over at Tepe Design. This is the TS177 Maverick. You can see I've done some anodizing work on this one. I did this purple and gold. I don't know if I'll leave it. I don't know. I was just kind of playing around. But it does look cool. Pocket clip on this one is fantastic. There you can see Sean Hassan's logo there, the Tepe Design right below it. That's the Night Morning logo. This one is in M390. It's a numbered model, so this one's number 21. Just a beautiful knife. Perfect construction. Works perfectly. One of my friends in the knife community, he had some issues with cutting himself with this knife on the back here. Apparently he got his finger in there, and I personally can't do it. I can't get my finger in there at all. So, you know, maybe that's something to think about, but for me, it's not an issue at all, because I mean, I can't even push my finger in there enough to touch the blade. But, you know, if you have smaller hands, that might be an issue, I guess. For me, this thing is beautiful. I mean, the textured titanium is just gorgeous. It feels so good in hand. It's so unique. And it's got a bit of it's not really a crown spine, but they've chamfered the edges so much that there is a flat on the spine, but it almost feels like it's crowned, just because of how much they rounded the corners. And yeah, it's perfect. So, TS177 Maverick, beautiful knife. Okay, TS159, another Wong design. This knife they make it two ways. You can get it with these kind of micro milling lines, and then they also make it in what they call the TS159 Smooth. That is just what it says it is. They're like bead blasted titanium scales. This is just a beautiful knife. Titanium frame lock, internal relief cut on the lock bar. It's just a very simple, elegant, beautiful, very slim, but large pocket knife. So overall length on this guy, just barely under 9 inches. Yeah, it's 8 7/8. So, you know, good size pocket knife, but everything about this got a nice forward choil that's usable. It does have some jimping up here on the thumb ramp, but it's very, very well, it's very muted. Like they did a ton of tumbling on it. So it is functional. It does provide a little bit of traction, but only when you're really pushing on it. Otherwise, this knife, it's great. I mean, it's just such a good knife. And a little bit of a trailing point blade there, a little upswept, kind of Persian-esque, and S90V titanium. You can buy this thing right around $100. Just beautiful. It's just classy, simple lines, and just looks really, really good. So TS159, awesome, awesome knife. Okay, and I guess that leaves us down to the last one, and it is another Mazwan design, the TS 195 Silverback, I guess is the name of this. At one point, I had heard it called the Grenade, but then I think I posted that in a video, and then Mazwan corrected me. I think I saw that on Instagram. I can't remember. I deal with so many knives, and even now, if I screwed up one of these numbers, you guys will have to let me know in the comments, because I just did this by memory, so I may have screwed one of these up. But this is a beautiful knife. It's an integral. This thing is rocking M390 blade steel. You can see I got some oil and dirt and stuff on there. But again, textured titanium, integral construction, pocket clip is beautiful, milled clip, it works perfect. You got this fuller that runs down the blade. It makes it great for Spidey flicking. It's also a great front flipper, as well as having this very muted flipper tab. It works perfect. It's just it's a great knife, just all the way around. And an integral with these materials, you're not touching this for under $300 from any other maker. I mean, it's not happening. And this is without question the best integral knife that you're gonna find with the best materials for this kind of price. Yeah, you're just not gonna touch it anywhere else. You can buy this thing under $200, and it's a beautiful knife, absolutely gorgeous. I've heard a few people talk about it, and I show this but if you want to know more about this knife, go and check out my review on it. I disassemble it and show it off. You can see right here where the blade stop hits the blade. And then the knife also comes up here and bottoms out on the titanium right there. It's kind of hard to see it, but there is a milled section. Yeah. Let me see if I can see if we can show that off real quick. I'm going to try something here. So down in there is a milled section, and there's a hump of titanium right down in there. I don't know how well that's showing up, but you can see the shiny spot right there where the blade hits it. Now, grade 5 titanium you can harden grade 5 titanium, okay? And this obviously is hardened or carbonized or something because it's actually leaving a little mark on the blade. But I've heard, I think it was Jared over at Neve's Knives was saying, he thought that was a fatal flaw of the knife, because I don't even remember what his logic was for it. But the reality is, if you were to sharpen this knife enough to get to that portion right there, because that hump sticks up, your cutting edge would already be sharpened up the blade enough that, yes, maybe the blade is going to sit down further in the scales, but it would still, your cutting edge is not going to hit the bottom of the knife, which is what he was saying, because this area is humped up. So even if you were to, the only way that would happen is if you cut another choil in it and made the choil deeper and left the edge sticking down longer. But also, you're going to have the issue of your detent ball not lining up with the hole in the blade any longer if the knife were to set further down in the scales. So it's just not realistic. It's not something that's ever going to happen. And then the question about the knife hitting up here and using titanium for the stop pin, there literally are tons of places that make titanium hardware kits for Spyderco knives and all kinds of knives that replace the steel stop pin with a titanium pin. There are tons of knives out there that the stop pin is titanium, and the lock face is titanium as well. So, it's just, it's nothing that's ever going to be an issue. This knife is going to outlive me without question. It's just not something that's ever going to be a problem. So with that being said, people that are concerned about that portion, it's just not something that's even worth worrying about because it's not ever going to be an issue. But it's a beautiful knife, hardened steel insert, ceramic bearings, ceramic detent ball, M390, titanium, integral, front flipper. It's amazing. So there you go. TwoSun 195 Silverback. But I kind of like the grenade name, honestly. So I may just call it a grenade. But anyway, here we go. Here's all the TwoSuns. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. And then I screw up the flip. Just some beautiful, beautiful knives. TwoSun is just killing it. They just do the best stuff for the best prices. I mean, you're just not finding better value from anywhere. And you know, if anybody wants to argue that point or whatever, that's fine. We can talk about it. But unless somebody shows me another brand that I'm unaware of, which may exist, I don't know. I'm not saying I know everything, but with the brands that I'm familiar with, TwoSun is knocking it out of the park. So anyway, guys, there you go. There's my top TwoSuns. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll talk to you later. I'm out.